Trailers, they're not just for towing anymore. So, I have a bone to pick with trailers. My friends are often surprised and act like I'm the weird one when I tell them that I absolutely don't like watching trailers. I'll go out of my way to avoid them. For example, I try to get to the movie theater just as the movie is starting. I don't look at any new game or movie trailers if it's something that I'm interested in seeing or playing. And I'll go out of my way of watching any kind of live television, be it satellite or cable, and I stream whenever I am able to, just to avoid any commercials. So why do I hate trailers? Well, because they suck. Let's be real here. We all know trailers suck for a myriad of reasons. I mean, they either end up being incredibly deceptive, and you end up watching a movie that has nothing to do with what was advertised, or they may as well just be the spark notes of the entire plot of the film, and so what's the point in watching something or playing something if you already know the entire story? And that's why, for example, I really don't think I'm the weird one here when it comes to saying that trailers just shouldn't be the way they are, and we really shouldn't be watching them because I think it deprives us from actual enjoyment. This is going to be just largely me ranting about some of my least favorite trailers that I can think of. I'm going to throw you all some examples, obviously, of what I'm on about, and if you're worried about me spoiling anything recent, well, don't be, because I'm going to keep it pretty much in the older stuff area. And I mean, I'll give you a warning ahead of time of what I'm about to be talking about. Like, for example, if somehow you haven't seen Bridge to Terabithia, a movie that is nearly old enough to drive, and you've been holding off on watching it until now, well, watch it and then come back to my video, I guess, if you're really that worried about spoilers. Now, of course, Bridge to Terabithia is going to be the first example, and it was actually the final straw for me when I was a kid. I was like 11 years old when this came out, and I remember seeing the trailer for this film. These two little kids go off into the woods, they find giant footprints, and you know what giant feet mean. Giant tree people, of course. But this isn't just a world of big tree people with big feet, it's a fantasy world full of all kinds of wonders like these weird bee people. You finish this trailer and you think you're going to be getting yourself into some kind of like discount Narnia, or maybe something better than Narnia. But what you're really getting here is a one-way ticket to Tearsville. Population me, 11 years old, in the theaters watching this movie. This line, for example, in the trailer is such a massive lie.
This winter, when you go looking for adventure, be prepared to find more than you ever imagined.
Yeah, because I imagined a fun fantasy world and not a story about a little girl with an abusive father and another girl who dies after hitting her head when swinging off of the rope swing in the movie. This movie is so absolutely sad. I remember trying to hide the fact that I was crying while watching this movie in the theaters because I went to go see it with a friend of mine who was somehow completely unfazed by all of this, and I didn't want to be known as the kid who cries watching movies. It's honestly a really incredibly touching film, and it is something that admittedly is pretty enjoyable to watch. But this wasn't what I signed up for, and I 100% was not prepared for it as a kid. The trailer is really deceptive, and if anything, it totally pushed me away from watching or trusting basically any trailers that I would see along the line. Anyway, from a movie that I enjoyed despite the trailers, let's move to Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm gonna get it out of the way. This wasn't an amazing movie. I wanted to enjoy it. I'm a big Batman fan, and I'm not gonna lie, there's parts of me that kind of actually genuinely enjoyed some of it despite it overall being a pretty flawed film. But thankfully I didn't see the trailer, because if you watch the trailer, there's like no reason to watch this movie, like at all. Not only just because it shows how god-awful Jesse Eisenberg was as a casting choice for Lex Luthor.
Boys, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. Ah, I love it. I love bringing people together. How are we?
But also because, well, this trailer basically gives away the entire plot to the movie, so what's even the point anymore? You'll see Batman's motivation for this fight. You'll see this weird parademon future scene where Batman is wearing a jacket over his armor for some reason, and he also has these cute little goggles on his helmet. I love it. You'll see the twist in the latter half of the movie where Doomsday shows up. Oh, and yeah, also Wonder Woman is there too, I guess. The only part that you really miss out on is Superman going, Martha, and also Superman's death. But let's be real here, that wasn't that much of a shock when they introduced Doomsday into the mix. I feel like if you knew stuff about Superman or Batman, which assumingly most people watching this movie would, you know that Superman is likely going to die. At the end of the day, it's a really good example for an awful trailer that takes away any kind of fun that could have been found in this movie by ruining basically everything that happens in it and just leaving you waiting for the scenes that you saw in the trailer to finally happen. Anyway, let's move on. Remember when I brought up Batman wearing that jacket just now? Well, that's actually my awkward segue into this video game, and I want you to try and guess what video game I'm talking about here. I actually remember watching this trailer like it was yesterday. I was so incredibly hyped when I saw this, a mysterious hooded figure on the run from something in the desert using only what he had left, and then this crazy sinkhole shows up out of nowhere, revealing this giant robot bird thing. Then we see this hand, and oh my god, it's Mr. Master Chief from the Halo series. He took a page straight from Spider-Man and cracked his helmet because who doesn't like the badass look of some battle damage? And then he just looks up at this bird and like, dang, what a cool and unique looking Halo game. I can't wait to see more. So anyways, let's see more. Here's the Halo 5 gameplay trailer. Wait, where's the gameplay? Is this gameplay? Oh wait, no, that's just another cinematic, sorry. Oh, hey, look, it's Uncanny Valley Nathan Fillion. Oh shoot, it's Master Chief, but where's the battle damaged armor? And more importantly, where's the poncho he was wearing? The poncho looked cool. Okay, so we're a third of the way into the gameplay trailer, and the cinematic has finally faded to black, so I guess we're finally out of the cinematic and we're into the gameplay, right? I mean, music starts playing, and it's time for some action. You've got to be kidding me. It's just more cinematics. Admittedly, they're cool cinematics, and they've got some really fun music behind them, but where's the gameplay in the gameplay trailer? Where's anything from the E3 trailer with the giant bird and the cloak and stuff? None of it's to be found. Oh, wait a minute, wait. There's the gameplay. Did you miss it? Because it's there for like a second and it's gone, and then it might show up again a few times for a second and it's gone. But what kind of gameplay trailer is this when there's basically no gameplay to be shown? I'm just left here wondering, like, what even is going on? The last time I checked on this game, it was a story about a robot man in a poncho fighting a robot bird in the desert. Now Master Chief is on the run from this random cop guy, and I guess he's going to hashtag hunt the truth. But the only truth that I'm out here hunting for is the truth behind the first E3 trailer we saw. Because listen, I actually ended up buying this game specifically because of that trailer. I saw the gameplay trailer. I saw that nothing from the E3 trailer was in it, but I was like, Master Chief's still gonna get beat up. He's still gonna end up wearing a poncho. He's still gonna end up fighting a robot bird. And you wanna know what? None of that ever happens. It's all just one big lie from Microsoft and 343 Industries. And I can't stand this kind of stuff. Like, why make a trailer if it's not going to be relevant to the game? And why make a trailer and call it a gameplay trailer when like a fraction of it is actual gameplay and the rest is just cinematics? And even the stuff that is gameplay doesn't really look like gameplay. Like, I'm not fully convinced that the scenes that they show that look like gameplay are actual gameplay, and they're not just even just slightly improved. Because sure, we see the crosshairs, but like, you don't see anything else on screen that makes it look like gameplay. And I mean, overall, I mean, depressing trailer for an overall really depressing game, because I'm sorry, but Halo 5 just kind of sucked. Everything after Halo 3 just kind of sucked. Anyway, listen, I know I'm ranting, I'm rambling. I could literally go on all day about my issues with trailers, and I won't because that would be boring, but I hope this kind of summed up in short my issues with these trailers. And to be honest, I'd implore everybody watching to avoid watching trailers as well. Like I said, avoid the majority of all trailers, and honestly, it's made my movie watching and video game playing experience a lot more pleasurable. I go into them more or less completely blind. Sometimes I'll watch like 1 or 2 trailers before going into it, just if I'm kind of on the fence or I want a better idea of what I'm getting into. But for the most part, I have no idea what I'm going to be getting into, and it makes it really fun and really interesting. At the end of the day, you're not spoiling yourself from any of the twists and turns that might come along in the movie, and you're also much less likely to come into this movie with a preconceived notion given to you by a misleading trailer. Anyways, at the end of the day, do whatever you want to do. I know some people love trailers. I know some people don't care about spoilers. I know that I care a lot about spoilers, but that's not everybody. If you enjoyed this kind of content, if you enjoyed hearing me just kind of ramble about random stuff, please let me know. Let me know about some other stuff you'd like to hear me talk about. And as always, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave it a subscribe, a like, whatever. But at the end of the day, I just hope you had fun with the video. Trailers, they're not just